We know that percents are special kinds of ratios out of 100. And we know that we are trying to compare those. When we use percent, for example, if I put a percent on your test, 82%, that means, it doesn't mean you got 82 problems right. It means that you got the ratio that is equal to 82%. With that in mind, I want to talk about the three types of proportions that you can use to solve various percent problems. Keep in mind, as I just said, the percent is a special kind of ratio out of 100, and it's always a part to whole ratio. It's the part out of 100. So percent always means the part out of 100, and if I want to write a proportion, then I'm equaling it to the other numbers, where the top would be the part and the bottom would be the whole. Let's take some examples and see what this looks like. The problem, what is 24% of 96? Well, remember, we're talking part to whole. And what I like to do is, as soon as I see the percent, I know that one is 24 out of 100. The question is this number 96 the whole thing or the part? If you think about it, it's saying what is 24 out of 96? What is 24% of 96? So the out of is the whole thing. The 96 goes on the bottom, and the x goes on the top. In other words, the number that is going to be the part, and the number that is out of is the whole. So we know how to do this now. It's a proportion. Of course, it's always easiest if I can reduce my fraction, especially if I don't have a calculator nearby. So notice that this is the same as 6 out of 25 is x out of 96. And on your calculator, you can, any way you do the proportion, 24, sorry. Oh yeah, sorry. 6 times 96 equals, divided by 25 equals, it is 23.04%. This means is about 23%, because its point is 23.04, or 23 4/100. Sorry, it's not 23%, it is the number. Okay, so that's one kind. What is 24% of 96? So the 24 out of 100 goes here. The is what we don't know. What is? And out of 96 is what we do know. Is 22 is 35% of what number? I'm out of room, so I'm just going to use the symbol. So again, we're doing part to whole. You don't always have to write down the part to whole. What you do have to write down is your proportion. Something equals something. This is 35 out of 100. And what we do know, we know 22 is. So the 22 is the part. Out of what number? That's the one we don't know. So when you do that in your calculator, you find out that it is a very long decimal, and that is 71.43 rounded. 71.43. And again, this means it's approximately that. The final kind is if you say 15 is what percent of 80. Now we've got a different situation. We don't have a percent written with percent. It's what percent. So that's actually what we don't know. We don't know what percent. Some number out of 100 is the same as 15 out of 80. So in our calculators, we do it and we find out that it is exactly 18.75. And that is percent because it's out of 100. This also allows us to solve some word problems if we can identify those phrases. If the word problem says 14% of the 8th grade class is in the Honor Society, 14% of the 8th grade is in the Honor Society. If there are 21 8th graders in the society, how many students are in the 8th grade? Okay, well, right away we know that it's 14%. So the question is, what's the part and what's the whole? The thing we don't know is how many students in all of 8th grade. So the part goes down here, and the whole goes down there, and the part is 21. So 2100 divided by 14 is, that means there are 150 8th graders. Has a sale on sweaters. There is a sale on sweaters. If you buy one, actually, we're not going to do that problem because that's a percent change. In general, if you remember that all percentages are part to whole ratios, and that's the percent out of 100 equals the part, which is often what goes with the word is, over the whole, which goes with the word of, or just make sure you read and make sure that these things match up. That's out of, and this is the part. You should be able to solve all kinds of problems.